Hi guys, it's Paula. I'm back to show you how to string this book, The Binding. So, I had someone ask me, I couldn't do the hole punching and all of that on camera because I have a torn rotator cuff, and it just, I have to take it really slow. But there's a lot of videos out there. I know Gail has one about punching the holes in the spine and in the papers. I just have to do it very, very slow, and we'd be on video all day. I actually had surgery last October, and it's retorn now because my tissue was not tough enough to hold the stitching. So I'm just going to live with it for a while, I think. They don't give me too much chance of it being able to be fixed. So I've lived with it forever, so I guess I'll live with it a little longer. Okay, off the subject. So let's get started. How you string your signatures is you start with the back signature. You want to make sure that your signature's in the upright position. In other words, make sure all your pages are up. Go through each one, make sure they're all up. And I've already checked them, they are. You're going to clip. You actually, what you do is before you mark your book and put the poke the hose, you push into the spine until you have a really good tight, the papers are all very tight up against each other. And then you'll clip this one, and then you'll clip the opposite one on the top, and then come back and clip this one and this one on the right. And you do that to both signatures, and that gets them ready, and then you keep them in the upright position. Okay, then you use a template, which my template is not super great, and it's really not one that I would want to teach you because I didn't mark everything because of time trying to get this done tonight. So you put your 3 holes for each signature in your spine, and you use your awl to open up each hole. Okay, then you're going to measure your string before you thread your needle. Oh, and also when you're poking your hole, you want to use an old book underneath your spine. It just helps you to get the awl through. You're going to measure the length or the height of your book 3 times, and that will be enough to do your spine. Use a needle that will work with your twine or whatever it is you're going to use. I'm using waxed thread or binding thread that I got at Hobby Lobby. So they may have 1 or 2 different kinds there. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go down the center of the second signature, and you're going to put it into the correct, if I can get it in there, to the center hole in the back. Now, let's see. Again, I'm super weak because of my shoulder, so getting the needle through is really hard for me, but I did it that time. Usually the first couple I can do without too much trouble. It's when you start getting the second signature in. Okay, now make sure everything's lined up. And okay, now going to go back in up the top one, the top hole of, oh wait a minute, the back signature top hole. Okay, all right, and then you're going to come straight back up. I know this is really hard to see on here, and it doesn't help that it's evening. So you want to make sure you're kind of holding your book up so that you can come straight into the center of the spine, which I just had it, and then there it is. Okay, so you want to pull that up. Let me get my pliers. I have to do that a lot. There we go. Okay. You want to leave enough here that you can get it all even. Now, I'm trying to see here. Okay, now you're going to come back down. You want to hold your twine over, and you're going to come back down the other side. And I'm going to put some ink right there. I don't like it when the inside of the cardstock shows a little bit. I don't, call me crazy. Just too picky. Okay, then you're going to come back down the lower hole that was poked in the signature. And you're going to pull that through. Now let's see if I can get this one through. Usually I don't have any trouble with the first signature, which is the back signature, the farthest back signature. As far as strength goes, it's usually that second and third one that I really have to work at. Okay, so there we go. Now, making sure everything's lined up and tight. You want to make sure all your strings are tight on your binding out here. See, that's kind of loose, so I've got to tighten that up. And then we're going to go down, back down the very first hole that we came up, okay? And you don't want to catch, you really want to try hard not to catch the twine that you came down with to start with. And because that'll just make it really hard to. The thing that's hard about this part is getting it right back up through the same hole, which, you know, I feel pretty good if I do. And so let me turn this where we can, I'm going to have to use my pliers on this one because the center one just always seems, you really want to hold beside the twine so that you don't have any paper tears or anything like that, because that can happen. I've not personally had it happen, but it just it looks like it could to me, you know, if you're not real careful. So now's the time to line up the top and bottom. Pull your twine tight on each side. Now, you notice that here I have twine on this side of this center string and twine on this side of the center string. I don't know the technical terms for that. I just know, I'm going to go ahead and take my clips off right now. I just know that it's important to have them on separate sides so that you can tie off your twine and secure your book onto the spine. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I've had one of those days today. I do know what I'm talking about. I'm just, it's late. Okay, I chose to do the video tonight because it's just easier than trying to have to deal with the puppy and trying to do a video, and she wants to play. That will get better. She's already, we're trying to bell train her at the back door for potty training, and, well, if you want to call it potty training, I guess that's what it's called for dogs. Now we're going to tie like a square knot, you know, so you're going to go one way and then come back the other way. And it's just double tying, basically. And then you want to make sure everything's tight. And it is. So, there's how it's going to look. Making sure you guys can see, because it's, I have several lights on, but when I'm glancing up there, it seems dark. Okay, so I usually just pull the strings down. I don't get in a hurry about cutting any strings off yet, because I like to put beads on usually. Make sure the first signature is in the upright position, which this one is. I've checked and double checked. So you want to thread your second triple length twine into your needle. Sometimes it goes the first time, sometimes you have to work at it. And you just never know. Okay, then I usually squeeze this down so it makes it as flat as possible. Just kind of work it a little bit. Okay, now we're in the upright position, everything, the front cover is correct. So I'm going to go down the center and down the center hole in the spine. And I'm going to pull that through. Wow, that never happens. Having a good spine day. Okay, now you're going to go back in through the top poke toe in the spine and come back out the center. I'll get it. Just give me a second. I have to work at it. My pliers sometimes like to slide up my needle, and that makes it a little harder for me. You know, everything goes smooth, and then you get to one that's going to be difficult. There we go. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm doing. I'm trying not to have my hands in the way, but it's really hard not to. Trying to get whichever side. Oh, it tried to tie a knot on itself in the back. That's interesting. Never had it do that before. That's weird. But we just unloop it and it will be fine. Kept thinking, why isn't it pulling through? Well, because it couldn't. Okay. Trying to line everything up. And get this to come through. It's not that one, it's this one. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to pull this in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now everything's lined up. Want to come down here, and you're going to bring this up a little bit so you can see your hole the best that you can. Which, you know, I think the further you get into doing this spine, the little harder it is. But you just got to make sure all your measurements are as accurate as possible. Then you pull back up, and now you've got everything looped in, but you just want to make sure everything is tight. Okay, now we've got to go back down the center of the outside of the spine, and let's just keep our fingers crossed that everything goes smooth on this last one. You just never know. Listen, I've had to redo a spine. I've had to replace paper. You know, it's all a learning curve. And I mean, even after my first one, I just had to, you know, I just had to learn that, you know, there's certain ways to do it and to get it correct. So, get my pliers, put my fingers down so it doesn't pull on my paper. There. Oh, mercy, that was the hardest one. Okay. Take my needle off. Then I can just start tightening my spine. Okay, let's get everything lined up. I'm going to take the clips off. I just find it's easier to get things where they need to be. Once all your strings are through, you don't want to take your clips off until you have all your strings where they're, you know, pull completely through. Now, I haven't tied it yet, but I like to do it this way. I'm sorry, I think I just put my big old head right in the middle. Make sure that one side of your twine is on one side of the long string. Pull up on each one of them. Make sure they're tight. Look at your spine. Everything looks right. So, let's see. And then you're going to do your tie to the right, tie to the left, and get you a square knot. And I always have to stop and think. Okay, and then you pull your strings down. Now, everything seems to be in okay. There is your, can you see that? Seems dark, but it may just be the angle I'm at. Okay, everything seems to be nice and straight. Nice and straight. So, I want to show you what this side looks like. I haven't finished all the embellishments and stuff, but there's tabs and lace, like 3 or 4 different laces in there. Okay, well, that is how you string a spine. Now, I'll go back and I'll complete everything. I'll get my beads on. I'll finish up all the embellishments, which I have a lot of them made, and then I'll come back and do a flip through for you guys. And I hope you're having a good day. And I want to thank, while I'm on here, I want to thank Tracy Fox for selecting me to be part of her design team today. And I'm looking forward to it, and I love her work. I love her designs. So I think it's going to be an exciting next 6 months. So, and I want to say congratulations to, I believe it's Tina. Yes, it's Tina at Starting Over, and Nikki at Musing By. So, you guys have a good evening, and I'll see you next time with a flip through. Bye now.